discussed about this story earlier also. So, and again, as this is a nice time, Durga Navaratris are starting. Let's pray Durga Ma or Subhadra or Bhadrakali to bless us with abundant love and affection so that we can progress well in devotional service. We already discussed, right? Subhadra Ma, none other than Bhadrakali, Maya, right? She's a jailer of this material world. She just tries to make sure that no single person escapes from this jail, goes to Golok Vrindavan. The moment he goes to Golok Vrindavan, there are chances that his tendency pushes him to even spoil the things there. That is why Subhadrama, Bhadrakali wanted to make sure that no single person with, or the other way, we can put it the other way, every single person who goes out of this jail and reaches Goloka is the best class devotee of Krishna, or Gopi Padakamala Dasanu Dasanu Dasa attitude one should be having before getting out of this jail, right? So we'll discuss one small story. I think we've already discussed the story in some other session before, but we'll discuss it again, right? So we heard of this Bharata Varsha, right? This is Bharata Desham, which is some like Bharata ruled, right? So what happened is Bharata is a great devotee of Krishna, right? So what happens is his tenure of ruling this Bharata Varsha is completed. Then he goes to Vanaprastha. So we have different ashramas, right? Brahmacharya, Gruhastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. So he goes to Vanaprastha ashram, right? So when he goes to Vanaprastha, leaving all his kingdom behind, he gives it to his sons to rule. He guides everyone very properly. He's a great devotee of Krishna, devotee of the Lord, right? So he guides his children very nicely so that they can actually take care of the Bharata country properly. Then he goes to Vanaprastha ashram, right? During Vanaprastha ashram also, he does all the austerities and penance very nicely. But actually what happens is, he sees one deer, mother deer, giving birth to a baby deer, right? So when they, unfortunately, when the mother deer giving birth to the baby deer, what happens is she loses its life. The mother deer, it loses its life. Right? Devotees are very compassionate. We have been seeing other, people, one of the best symbol of you people being so compassionate is, bearing me for 3 hours, even on the day of, Navaratris, right? So it is not easy, Prabhus and Matajis, right? So as usual, the devotees are so compassionate. So Bharata, being a great devotee of the Supreme Lord, he is so compassionate. So what happens is, he actually goes to the deer, tries to help it, but it gives birth to the baby and then it dies off. Then then onwards he takes care of the baby deer. He nicely gives grass, and he does chanting, and even the baby deer goes around here and there when he was doing chanting and all the pujas and all. But over time what happens is, he kind of develops some kind of affection towards the baby deer, right? So as he was developing some kind of affection towards the baby deer, he used to take some anxiety. So this is what happens in material world, right? Even if you have a little bit of anxiety, or smallest of the smallest affection or attachment to anything, we will undergo that kind of anxiety. It doesn't mean that devotees do not go anxiety. Devotees are more anxious. Why they're more anxious? They're more anxious to serve the best to Krishna, right? Yes, of course, devotees are also anxious. It is not that they're running away from the problem. It is not that they're running away from anxiousness, or it is not that they're running away from all kinds of different responsibilities that they're supposed to fulfill in terms of, taking care of their family, parents, etc. Right? They're more in anxious. But yeah, so coming back, Bharata, he was taking care of the baby deer, right? So at times when the baby deer is not found, he used to take a lot of anxiety, right? It used to happen like this. So over time, what happened was, he serves the Supreme Lord. He used to bring flowers, water from the river, and then take three times bath in a day, and all these things he used to do. And he used to feed even the grass to the baby deer, right? So what happened was, one day the baby deer was not found. It grew up. It got strong legs and all, and then it went off from there, right? So what happened was, this Bharata, he was like, still he thinks of that baby deer, the deer as baby deer only. That is what happens with us, right? So my mother says, I am like I'm so grown up, I have got another baby, but still when I came to my hometown, my mother says, my mother's affection is always, I'm not saying it's my mother, any mother for that matter, she's so affectionate, whether you're doing job or something, or you're busy in your schedule, whatever happens, you're so dear to your children, as well as you love your children like anything, right? So it's vice versa. So irrespective, there are many matas who are working. You must have realized, right? So for example, you hear one story about some baby or someone who is actually feeling sick. Immediately you will think of your baby. Arey, what happened to my baby? I should try today. I want to go early to home, because the thought cannot keep you in the office, right? It doesn't keep you happy and calm in office, right? So the moment you hear about something, you just run away to the house. Like that, this the motherly affection is like that, right? So what happened with this Bharata was, he was taking care of that deer, right? So when the deer was not found, he was in so much of anxiety. Over time, he actually, of course, he does all the puja, but there is a disturbance in the puja, because part of his mind is occupied with the loss of the baby deer. He could not find it, right? So what happens is, over time, he leaves his body. But when he was leaving his body, his senses were completely not absorbed in Lord Krishna's service, because part of his mind was thinking about even the baby deer. So because of that, what happens is, the next life he takes birth as a deer. Okay, now in the second life he takes birth as a deer. Now what happens that, but this time, by the mercy of the Lord, he remembers his past life. So he again takes birth in the same ashram where he was living earlier with the deer. So he takes, this time he was so calmly, coolly, he was eating grass, and then he was, revolving around that place itself. Yeah, but animals, they kind of do not have that kind of consciousness of, remembering and intelligent consciousness. But still, by the mercy of the Lord, he lives in the same ashram, eats grass, and slowly he leaves the body. And then, by the mercy of the Lord, this time he takes birth as a uh, in a Brahminical family. See, if you look at it, he was Bharata in first life, and in second life he is a deer. He took the birth of a deer, but as he remembered his past life, this time he remembered that he should not have any attachment towards anything. So without any attachment, this time he leaves the body of the deer. Right now, after that, what happens is, in the third life he takes birth as a again he takes birth as with a name called Bharata, but this time he is Jada Bharata. We'll discuss why he is Jada Bharata. But this time he takes birth in the family of a Brahmins who are very pious and who does puja day in and day out. Right. So this is the advantage of doing devotional service. When we do devotional service, either we take birth in an opulent family or we take birth in a devotee's family. But we should pray to take birth in a devotee's family, because at times when we become opulentous, when we get more properties, right, we get misguided. If I don't have any money, I'll have only two jobs: earn money, do devotional service. But whereas if I have money, I will have an additional service, that is serving Maya. Going to pubs, going to restaurants, spending lavish things. And when you have money, a lot of people will come who wants to enjoy the life with money, right? So this is a disadvantage. So if you're too pious, you will take birth in a Brahminical family, or devotees family, right? So this is what happens. Now this time Bharata has the third birth, he has taken birth in a Brahman's house, right? Now this time his name is Jadabharata, and even this life also he remembered. Now this time, if you look at him, he looks like a Jadabharata, means like a mad person. He is very calm and he's very silent. He doesn't know, as if he pretends as if he doesn't know. He pretends so because, he pretends as if he doesn't know because, he doesn't wanted others to come and disturb him. Right. So if I'm very active and talking to too many people, they will come, and there are chances of getting misguided. Right. Whereas if I pretend to be a mad fellow, right, what will happen? No one will come close to me. So what happens is, this time he was a kind of pretends as if he is a mad person, right? So in this life, his name is Jada Bharata. So the name itself says Jada Bharata. Jada means inert. Just give me a minute. I think there is some prasadam has come. Okay, so yeah, this time he's Jada Bharata, right? So what happens this time is, he still remembers his Bharata life as well as the deer life, and now he took birth in a Brahminical family, but still he pretends to be a mad fellow. Because of he being pretending as a mad fellow, everyone makes fun of him, right? Everyone makes fun of him. No one takes him for a partying or anything. Of course, it is good for him, because in the state of Jada, inner state, he always does chanting of. He always has the remembrance of the Supreme Lord, and he does pray a lot of praise to the Supreme Lord 24/7, right? So over time, what happens is, even his siblings cheat him without giving any money or without giving any property and all, right? So finally, what happens is, he leaves the home and he goes to the forests. When he was going to the forest, what happens is, there is a tribal group and there is a king to the tribal group. Now the tribal king, he wanted to get extra powers, extra material powers, like some kind of they get some tantric, mantric, and all these powers, right? He wanted to get such kind of powers in the mode of samoguna, right? Some powers in the mode of ignorance. So he does puja to Kalima. Usually we say that, right, when you want to get materialistic appliances or materialistic things, you can go and do puja to Kalima, right? When he was why I am telling the story is how devotees are benefited even if they are not doing puja to Kalima, right? This is what we'll understand. Even if we want to do puja, we can do, but with what mode we should do puja is what we will understand in the story, right? So now Jadabharata is going into the forest, walking into the forest, and this tribal king, he is trying to get extra powers by pleasing Kalima. So what happens is he tries to, and there is a formality that they have to chop the head of a human being, right? They have to find a human and give him a bath and then clean him properly and then chop his neck on the that stone, right? Then he gets extra powers. This is what the service and the boon is all about. Now what happens is he orders his soldiers, the tribals, go and find one person. Now they go on searching, and in the forest they find this Jadabharata. Now when they find a person, he has to be so fit that he should not run away when they're chopping, and he should not even understand what's happening, right? So when they were searching, they'll find Jadabharata. Now they think that okay, he is the best person because he's Jada, he's inert. Wherever he's sitting there. Wherever he's standing there. He's not understanding things. He's very less intelligent of the people. They think so, and then they think that okay, we found a nice person. They take him, and then they show to the king, and the king is very happy. They give bath to him, and then they wear nice whatever formal the ritualistic clothes they have to wear him. They make him wear those clothes, and they bring him, and then they put him on the chopping rock. Right? They put his neck on the chopping rock, and the king comes to chop his neck, and he lifts the big sword like this. The moment he lifts the sword, what happens is the sword disappears. What happened to the sword? The sword was taken by Kalima. So what happens is the idol, the big Kali idol, the so big Kali idol, it breaks open, and Kalima comes out of it, takes the sword, and then chops every single tribal's neck there, leaving just the Jadabharata alone. See what happened here. Why actually Kalima has to chop these tribals instead of enjoying the blood of the Jadabharata? Anyone knows why? We already discussed this story. Prabhu, anyone knows the reason why Kalima came and then chopped every single tribal and then saved Jadabharata?
She wants to save the devotees.
Yes. Jadabharata is the honest devotee. So he's not going to harm anyone.
Yeah, he's not going to harm anyone.
It's the duty of Kali and Balramji to protect the devotees of Krishna.
Hari Bol. Revati Mataji, you are also saying something?
Yeah, I told the same.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Sulachana Mataji, Pradeep Prabhuji, Revati Mataji ki jai. Yes, you guys, you people are right. So the duty of Bhadrakali or the Subhadra is protecting the devotees of her brother. Who is her brother? Lord Krishna. Right? So this is, see, if you look at it, those tribals, they were serving Bhadrakali their entire life, and she killed them. Right? So the main duty of Bhadrakali or Subhadrama is to protect the devotees of the Supreme Lord. That's her top priority. Next comes her devotees. That is the advantage of being a devotee. So when we pray our goddess Subhadrama or Bhadrakali during this Navaratri is, we have to pray her, Amma, please forgive us for all the mistakes that we have done, and please engage us in the service of the Supreme Lord. Tell her, this time I will do one single round, only one round extra, please leave me. So she keeps pulling, Maya keeps pulling you. She tries to, as we discussed in the other session, Maya is sitting here between us to make sure that we are, we are kind of shattered from this satsang. Because it is a testament. She gives the best possible test to test whether we are fit to go to Goloka or not, right? So we have to pray Bhadrakali that please give us some strength and give us some concentration to serve the Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas, the devotees of the Supreme Lord and devotees of servitors of the Guru and servitors of the Vaishnavas. So this is what we should pray during these Navaratris, right? So what is our duty during Navaratris? Yes, we have to go to Durgama temple, but what we should pray? We should pray that please forgive us for all the mistakes that we are doing and engage us in the service of the Supreme Lord, is what we have to pray. Then all of us will be saved like Jadabharata, right? We might be getting more and more appliances by praying Subhadra or Bhadrakali, but when it comes to when we become devotees, she is much more happier than we becoming her devotees, right? That is the advantage of being a devotee of the Lord, right? Okay, so this is about the auspicious Navaratri discussion. Now we'll go back and then discuss about the session. So this session, why do bad things happen to good people? This session is another very, very important session, and I wanted to make this session very, very interactive. Believe me, Prabhus and Matajis, even if you have not attended the previous session, this one single session alone is sufficient to build your faith in Krishna. And this will be like, this session is going to be so mathematical, we will definitely enjoy it. At the same time, we understand why there are so many things are happening around us, why there are so many calamities happening, why there are so many, people suffering despite of they being great devotees, and all these things we'll understand in this session, right? So, some people lose their job, some people lose their money, some people lose their properties. At times, there it goes to certain extent that even families lose their families, right? So what usually happens is, for example, let's say when I was studying my engineering, right? Yeah, of course, I was kind of doing chanting also, Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting also I was doing during my engineering. But even before to engineering, it was like, I want to get a good MSET rank to do engineering. So for that, there is something called Trinada Mela. Trinada means Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwars. And in this area of, Andhra Orissa border, this Barampur and Srikakulam, Vijayanagaram, this area, they do this puja called Trinada Mela. Trinada Mela is nothing but, Mela means doing puja, Trinada means Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwars, three naths, right? People do this Trinada Mela to get good fruitive results. In the sense, I want to get a good MSET rank. So what I did Trinada Mela. So I got a rank. And then after getting the rank, I was a little skeptical on whether I will get the seat that those days it was a lot of demand, right? 1999, it is, the engineering colleges are very less. Now there may be around 300 colleges. In those days, there were around 50, 60 colleges. That's it. Very less colleges, right? So even if you get a good rank in MSET, it is difficult to get a seat. Even if you get a seat, you don't know whether it is paid seat or, or free seat. There are two kinds of seats in those days, right? So the free seat is 5,000 and paid seat is 35,000. So if you're lucky enough, you get a free seat, and 20,000 your engineering is done. But nowadays, people are exploiting even for intermediate and 10th, even for education of a small child. My daughter is studying 3rd standard, and we have to pay 1,20,000. Right, so it is like that. So my entire engineering got over in 20,000. So this is what happens in Kali Yuga. As the Yuga progresses, you will get more and more exploited. Right, if you want to get cheated, Krishna will send the best cheater. Right, so like that. So I was doing this Trinada Mela to get a seat in a good engineering college. That's a free seat. So it worked out. Done. Over. Now after engineering, again I want good gate rank, right? So that I can go to some good institute. So then again I did Trinada Mela and whatnot, all kinds of pujas and all. Yeah, of course, again it worked out, right? And there was one situation. It was not so big situation, but yeah, I think it was after my masters. I wanted to get a job. Hare Krishna. Yeah, after masters, I wanted to get a job in General Electricals, right? So that time also it worked out. So believe me, it works. But there was one point where I got fed up. I got fed up because my fourth wish did not succeed. My fourth wish was to actually crack DRDO or some exam. I could not crack it, right? So this time I said, okay, Trinada Mela is not working. Now Ayyappa Diksha. So this time I started doing puja to Ayyappa, so that I get. So what happens is, the moment your wish is not fulfilled, you think, okay, Ganeshji did not work. Next, Sai Baba. Okay, Sai Baba did not work. Next, some other Mata. So like that, our faith is distorted the moment things doesn't. So imagine, I did not get the wish that I wanted, and I changed my God. Right? Now, what if, if there is someone who is losing his money, jobs, Corona, right? There are many people losing jobs. In fact, when I came to my hometown, when I was walking on the road, there is one puja store. That store was always empty, always empty. Now, in the recent past, when I was going over on that road, it was so full. it was so full that I cannot actually buy some. I wanted to buy some, what do you call, that rock salt, right? Rock salt for Ekadasi thing. And to buy even that, I had to stand in the queue for 1 hour. Just believe me, 1 hour, right? So I asked my mother, why? What happened to this fellow? Suddenly his star has turned out, or what? This shop is so busy. She said, now it is Corona time. Many people are losing jobs, and many people are losing their, don't have income. So people wanted to get more and more money to at least for survival. So whatever money they're left with, they're spending in pujas, right? So this is what will happen, right? Yeah, it is good to pray the gods, but we need to have faith. If you're praying Durgama, pray Durgama. Don't lose faith. Of course, there will be some testaments like losing job, losing money. All those things will come. But what happens worst to worst if you lose job? It's okay. Either you can you show. I mean, I have been seeing in LinkedIn in the COVID pandemic, there are many people losing jobs. At the max 2 months, they're getting another job. There are hardly any person. 1 out of maybe 100 is not getting job. But I'm sure that we definitely wouldn't be in that 1 out of 100 if we put in proper efforts in right direction, right? So what happens is the moment we lose money, job or something, our faith in that God goes up, right? Now the moment the faith in God goes up, you start doing puja to another God. Now again I started thinking, okay, this time also the thing did not work. So what I thought is I have to go back and do puja to the old God that I was doing. So what happened? Now my altar has filled with so many gods and goddesses, right? This is what will happen. Now tell me, is this atheism or theism? Is it called atheism or theism? What is atheism? Not believing in God. But are we really believing in God? Is it called faith? The moment I lose my job, I lose faith in God. Is it called atheism or theism? Prabhuji and Mataji? This is
Atheism.
definitely atheism, right? You don't have faith in the God. So this session, I'm going to take atheist out of you guys. So for sure, we'll see our, the atheist that is sitting in our, this. So this is called, faithless faith, right? So what happens is the moment we lose our job or something, we lose faith in that God and start doing puja to the next God. So, but it should not be like this. Now we will try to understand why even the 12th God did not work after doing so many pujas. Even after the 12th, after paying the 12th God also, you did not get that specific job, or you did not get that lottery. We will understand why it is happening even after doing puja to 12 different gods, or dozens and dozens of gods. Then also things are not working. We will understand why it happens, right? So the belief shakes up.
Any single God.
Yes, Mataji. I mean, we should stick to one single God. Now we need to understand who is that one single God that we want to stick to, right? Okay. Now we'll try to understand how it affects, right? Now going, yeah, okay. Now today we will be discussing about what is karma. So there are many, even there is a software company, right, called Karma Software. There is a pro karma software company and there is a karma software company. There are many things that are coming, right? So it is like that, right? But there are many dictionary meanings also for karma, but we'll try to understand what is the real definition of karma, right? Then laws behind karma. So we are saying karma is something that is working. So anything that is working, there has to be a law behind, right? Tell me one single thing that is working and there is no law behind it, right? So obviously every single thing that is working, there will be a law behind it, right? So we will try to find out what are the laws behind karma and commonly asked questions on karma. We will discuss. There will be many questions that we ask. Believe me. I mean, just now we got one question, right? So why why am I not given the gift of wish that I wanted? Even after doing puja to dozens of gods, it did not work out, right? So there are many common questions that comes in our mind. We might not be asking, but we'll open them and then ask in the session, right? Then types of karmas. What are the different types of karmas? What is the source of karma, right? Where is the karma created? I mean, the source of karma in the sense, how is karma created? Now, destiny versus karma. Destiny versus karma in the sense, do we have a destiny, predefined karma and its destiny, or do we have a way to choose whether to undergo that karma or not, right? Benefits of understanding laws of karma, right? What are the benefits if we understand laws of karma? And conclusion on how to handle laws of karma. So if we can handle the laws of karma, we can easily handle karma, right? So we'll understand these questions today's session, right? Yeah. Now, why do bad things happen to good people? Did anyone get this question, Prabhis and Matajis? Sure, right? I mean, We might have got this question many times, right? Isn't it? Is there anyone in the group who did not get this question ever? Ramnath Prabhu, Haribol. So Ramnath Prabhu did not get this question. Why do good? Because you may be knowing the answer, Ramnath Prabhu, right? So yeah, at least I got this question. Why do bad things happen to good people, right? So I have seen people undergoing. Actually, there is one person in my town who never does anything. He has got such a nice family. He worked as a bus conductor, ticket collector or something, and then slowly he lost his family and everyone he lost. And I was dumbstruck looking at him. He's such an innocent person, doesn't do any harm to anyone, but still he lost his entire family. Children, wife, mother, everyone. He's left alone. Then someone told him that you are suffering because of Sani, and then the counter attack to Sani, or to compensate that, you have to do puja to Hanumanji. So from then onwards, he continuously was in Hanuman Diksha, and he was peaceful, right? So this is some way of counteracting the karma. But let's try to understand if at all karma can be counteracted or something, right? But I have got this question: why do bad things happen to good people? It could be the other way, right? Why do good things happen to bad people? We have seen many people. There are many people who are actually maintaining slaughterhouses, but still roaming in bench cars, right? Despite of they doing so many bad karmas, but still, why they suffer good things, right? So actually, there is an example. Harold, this Mr. Harold, he was a priest in a church, right? He was a great priest. His entire life he was serving Jesus Christ, right? He was preaching so many people and he transformed many people's lives. But one day what happened was he was taking his small kid on the road, and an accident happened and his child died. And he was like, he cried. And finally he was like, he asked Jesus Christ, like, what did you do? What mistake did I do? I have been, serving my entire life, and finally this is what has happened to my kid, right? Then he decided, Satan. I mean, we call Satan. I mean, we call Satan in Western countries. They call Satan, 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 right? So he was like, okay, Satan looks like Satan is more stronger than God, and that day he left preaching, and he became atheist. Now, unfortunately, if a priest becomes an atheist, it's gonna be completely different ball game, right? They become so famous, ferocious, and whatnot. Unfortunately, right? So what happened is this guy he even wrote a book when bad things happen to good people, and he even tried to prove that Satan is stronger than God. Right? This is what happens when people lose their faith in God. So now, yes, of course he has lost his son, but it could be an effect of something else, right? It need not be just the effect of he doing so good karma in this life, right? Now this small child, right? This child, she has got cancer, right? She doesn't even have spent enough of life. Now we have an impression, right? This guy has done this wrong thing and that guy has done this wrong thing, that's why they are suffering. But what this small child has done, she didn't even start her life yet, and she's suffering with cancer, right? And this woman, she lost her entire family in the Vietnam War. Look at her. Her babies died in the. It's just like she came out of the house and there is a bombing and she lost her entire family, right? And so many innocents are killed in war. Why? Because when the bomb is put, it is not like it is selectively not going to kill only the misdoing guys, right? It kills everyone. And when the killing happens, when the bombing happens, even innocent people are killed. Why are they killed? Right? All these questions we'll have, right? I mean, despite of me not doing any single mistake, why am I suffering? And now this we know, right? The Nirbhaya thing, right? These guys, if you look at their names, Thakur, Sharma, Gupta, Singh. Can someone imagine that, with such a great, surname or family background, can someone expect them to do such kind of things? Now there are some people say that they're agents of the Satan. Some people say that there are agents of the God who actually is it true? Why are they agents of God to punish her? Or in first place, do we know what if at all she has done some mistakes? Right? I'm kind of trying to give these strong examples to make us understand how strong the karma is. Right? Now Jesus Christ, right? Why Jesus Christ have come to this world? In fact, Jesus says he came to this world to take all our sins. Right now, actually, Jesus, it was told that it was said. I had listened to previous lectures through in some in the ISKCON Disciplic Succession. So I heard that even Jesus has come to India and lived in Himalayas, got so much of scriptural knowledge. But when he went back, how can he teach or how can he give that information to the shepherds? Right? They're in the most, lowest of tamogunas. How can Jesus see? Just one thing he said. He said that I came here to take your sins. Just because he said that, he was hooked with nails. He was hooked live. And when he was hooked with nails, he was he was like crying, saying that, God, these children, they don't know what they're doing, please forgive them. And he was shedding his blood. Despite of all that, the people in Tamoguna, they were not able to understand what they were doing. They were kind of hooking Jesus Christ with nails, who hasn't done anything wrong. All that he said is, I am here to take your sins. That is what all he said. And he was hooked with nails. Look at what kind of things that people are doing, right? Now, what do we have to do? Looking at what kind of sacrifices Jesus Christ has done, what should we do? We should try to understand he is trying to take our sins. So we should learn it and stop doing sins. But are we doing it? Are we doing it? Right? What is karma? Now we'll try to understand why all these things are happening. We say for any single thing, we say, right, this guy is suffering is karma, right? At times I say, not only others, even I say myself, karma vavu, right? If something bad happens, karma vavu, we say, right? It's like, this is my karma, I can't help it, right? So anything that happens which cannot be derived through equations. Say, for example, we always try to put some logic in what is happening around us, right? What kind of logics that we try to put? We try to put, I did this mistake, I did not do agarbatti to this god, that's why, today I lost my entire. Things like that we do, right? There are many things of that kind we kind of attribute to, right? But for example, at times there are certain things where it happens, but we cannot derive an equation. We can't say, because of this LHS, this RHS, because of this left hand side actions, this right hand side consequence has happened. These kind of things we cannot derive at certain times, right? Then we attribute to karma, right? We say karma ravavu, right? Now what is karma? What is karma, Prabhus and Matajis? Maybe any guesses? What is karma? A simple definition of karma.
The work which is done by us, any work, whatever it may be.
Any work that is done by us.
Yes. Good or bad actions.
Yes, actions, yes. Yeah. Anything else? Anand Prabhu, Ramnath Prabhu, Pradeep Prabhu. Yeah, Pradeep Prabhu, deeds. Yes, deeds. Yes. Karma is nothing but action and its reaction also. Is karma action or is it reaction? Karma is any action we do, and it also extends to the reactions that we get from them, right? So it is something like this. You do something, if you do good, it comes back as good. If you do bad, it comes back as bad. But how is there a way to compensate karma? So karma is the reaction to our own actions, right? So this first picture, it is there in many books. Actually, there is a book called Perfect Question and Perfect Answer, written by it is kind of discussion that happens between Prabhupada and his disciples. It's a very good book. If anyone gets a chance, please read that. The book is Perfect Question and Perfect Answer. On that book, this picture is there. So if you look at here, it is, if you kill, you will be killed, right? And this is like, you throw an arrow, that arrow comes back. So karma is action and its extended reaction is what is karma. Now in Newton's law, what happened with Newton? Every one of us have studied this, right? Gravity, right? I mean, there is a famous joke. Had I been Newton, I would have eaten the apple. That is one thing many of us say. And there are many people who think that why apple fall beside Newton? It should have fallen on his head so that the physics wouldn't have been there, and I would have happily, enjoyed my studies. People who are scared of physics, they say that, right? Instead of on earth, it should have fallen on his head and he should have died so that I wouldn't have had physics, right? So, but had it been me, I would have eaten the apple and kept quiet and went off home. But what did Newton do? He started contemplating and started understanding why. Why is the apple falling? And then he understood gravity, right? So if you look at here, there is an action and there is a reaction, right? Like that. In law also there is an action and reaction, right? Now Newton's law deals with material objects. There is no mention of divine intervention. It's a subset of law of karma, right? So even Newton was saying action and its reaction, he is attributing the reaction to the action. The same thing happens in laws of karma also, right? If you look at it, anything that we do, it comes back. There is no question. There is no look back at it not coming back. If you are lucky enough, at times it doesn't come back, we think that we are lucky enough. No, the Paramatma sitting in our heart is watching it, right? So actually there is one okay, I'll come back to that story sometime after. Now what is the definition in Oxford? See, even Oxford Dictionary is talking about it. The sum of persons actions in this and previous states of existence viewed as deciding their fate in future existence. It's very simple. So you've got A plus B plus C equal to D. A is past second life, B is past first life, C is past life, and D is present, and it could be future life also. It's very simple equation. We have gone through that Dhritarashtra's story, right? I mean, where why he has lost his 100 sons in the war. So it is like that. All the past life, it's possible that even my last 100 lives action, I haven't burned that karma or reaction, so I might be burning it in this life. It's pretty much possible. It's a cumulative actions that the reaction is a cumulative of actions that happens, right? Now people get confused with karma because they don't understand the correlation between action and reaction. So at times we say, right, karma ra babu, but we don't know what that karma is and why we are suffering, right? Okay. Now world religions and karma. Now let's try to understand how the religions are talking about the karma, right? Now in Hinduism we say action and reaction. Let's try to look at other these things. So if you look at Buddhism, look at what it says. Buddhism: treat not others in ways that you yourself would find hurtful. So what it says is, treat not others, do not treat others in such a way in which if you are treated such a way, you will be hurt, you'll feel hurted, right? So what it says is, if whatever you're doing to others, imagine yourself in their shoes and think of getting that work to yourself. If you are hurt, don't do that, is what Buddhism is saying. Now what is Christianity saying? In everything, do to others, in everything, do to others as you would have them to do to you, for this is the law and the prophet. Jesus said, right? So it's very clearly said, when you're doing something to others, do it as if you're doing it do it as if someone else is doing to yourself, right? So to put it in simple terms, before me going and slapping someone, I should think of myself as me putting in his role, and the other person slapping me. If it feels happy, then I should do that. If it doesn't feel happy, do not do that. So every single religion talks about that, right? Now even in Buddhism, right, when they do anything, they're very cautious. Even when they're drinking water, they're so cautious and they're so careful. Even when they're drinking water, right? Every single religion follows this. For example, look at Jainism. What it says: one should treat all, they're going to the level of even creatures. It says one should treat all creatures in the world as one would like to be treated. So even when you're treating a creature, Jainism is very strong. You people know, right? Because they don't use blades. In some people, they don't even use blades. They pluck the beard, right? That level they go to. And Jain people, even when we go in flights, right, they say Jain meal. Why do they say Jain meal? Because Jains do not eat onion and garlic, right? When we go in flight, we ask for Jain meal because we know that there is no onion and garlic in the flights in that meal. So Jainism is very strong. Even that strong Jainism is saying one should treat all creatures in the world as one would like to be treated, right? So that's what it says. Now laws behind karma. Let's try to understand the different laws behind karma. Does nature function under laws? Prabhis, does nature function under laws? the sun is rising and then sunset happens and there are rains and all these things are happening. Does it run as per laws? Yes.
No.
Yes, Mataji. Sulochana Mataji is saying something.
No, they are doing their work.
Yeah, but
That belongs to karma.
Yeah, not belongs to karma. Yes, but do they work under any law? Does someone come and tell that sun you have to rise, sun you have to set, and Varuna you have to put pour rain here and pour rain there? Recently Hyderabad got flooded, right? Does it happen as per nature's laws, or just it happened by stochastic, random variable? Does it happen stochastically?
People mistake.
Or is it or is it done, or is it guided by someone, or is it through the laws of nature? Of course, definitely it is because of the laws of nature. So recently someone has, I think, I don't remember which Mataji, maybe Sucharita or someone has put one picture. Yes, Srividya Mataji, thanks for your answer. Pradeep Prabhu, Anand Prabhu. Yeah, so that what that picture says is, I don't know if I have that picture. Just let me see if I can pull that picture. So anyway, I let me talk about the picture. I think I'm not able to pull that picture. What that picture says is, in the picture there are two sides, left and right hand side. On the left side there are like nice lakes, right? And in that lakes, the procliners and earth moving equipment, it is coming and filling that lakes. And then in the second picture there are buildings that are constructed on top of that. Say for example, in Calcutta, Salt Lake City, it's a very big lake. Now there is no Salt Lake itself. There is, forget about Salt Lake, there is no lake itself. It is completely filled with software industries. If you go to Salt Lake City, there are, I think, around 12 sectors. All the sectors were filled with apartments and software companies. The TCS, Infosys, Wipro, all these companies are there in Salt Lake City. So why is it called Salt Lake City? Once upon a time there is a salt lake. Now when floods happen, where will the water go? There is no place. Where will it go? It goes and sits in your apartment, right? So these are all laws of nature. Whether you want to calculate it scientifically or logically, or you attribute it to laws of nature, that has to happen, right? Now why Hyderabad has flooded? Now when you go to Himayat Sagar in Hyderabad, if you go there, what happens is, you will, if you're walking to the left side of Himayat Sagar, so right side you have got your Himayat Sagar. If you're walking on the left side, you look at the left. Underneath that there are villas that were constructed, so luxurious villas. If you go inside, you will understand how costlier it is, right? Why are we doing it? Now the gates are open, all the villas are flooded near Himayat Sagar. Right? This is what will happen if we go against the laws of nature, right? There is a certain reason why the lakes are there. There are certain reasons why the ponds are there. There are certain reasons why the sagars are there. We have to respect them. They are also living beings. Ganga Mata, she's a living being, right? Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, they're all living beings. We don't have one single right to crucify them. They're working hard for us. They're like mothers for us, right? Yeah. Now Pradeep Prabhu is saying, if residences displace water bodies, yeah, absolutely. If residences display water bodies, water displaces residences. This is the law of karma, right? Right? There are so many laws in physics also. Law of vibration, relativity, cause and effect, polarity, rhythm, gestation, transmutation. There are so many laws. Now, unfortunately, scientists will be jobless if there are no laws in the nature, right? If there is no law of gravity, had we heard of Newton? Would there be a Newton? If there is no mass or energy continuity equation, that is, mass can neither be created nor be destroyed, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, momentum can neither be created nor destroyed, would there be a scientist called Einstein? If there is a law which says E equal to mc square, mass destroyed gets converted into energy, if there is no such kind of law, had there been, we wouldn't have heard of Einstein, right? There are so many laws like this. So scientists should have been jobless. Now cosmic accountability, everything in the whole creation is working under different laws. Every cause has an effect, and every effect has a cause behind it. So if you're seeing something happening, an effect like, rains flooding, or tsunami happening, or something happening, or the other thing happening, you can't say that there is no effect, it has happened just because of Big Bang. We already heard, right? Can I come? If someone is coming and telling that there is a Big Bang happened out of through which this Earth planet has come, why are the Earth planets not coming during Diwali? Even if you are saying that the bombing is not sufficient enough during Diwali, why are the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings have created cancers than creating a nice beautiful trees, right? Every single thing has a cause and effect. If we are saying that this Earth has just come through Big Bang, no, that is nonsense, right? Every humans are governed by laws of karma, right? Humans have the ability to choose. Now this is here comes the important thing. Human consciousness is much above other species and can be upgraded. All other species can only burn karma, but humans can create karma. This is one important topic that I wanted to discuss here, right? So we might get a question saying that, Prabhuji, we are talking about karma. Is that only human form of life where we can create karma or burn karma, or animals also does that? Because when you look at animals, the lion, tiger, all those things, they kill other animals, right? Do they create karma? Do they create karma, or they don't create karma?
They do not create karma.
They do not create karma. Why, Mataji? Because we are also killing and they are also killing. Why? And when animals kill, they won't create karma. Anand Prabhu, why they won't create?
This is the only way to eat food, but we have different ways to eat food.
Yes, absolutely. So what happens is animals are driven by instinct, whereas human beings, no. So if I'm, even for example, if there is a lion and that has eaten stomach full, you can have another deer coming close to lion, even at a distance like my computer. I'm sitting maybe, half feet, 2 feet distance to the computer, right? If a lion is stomach full, even if a deer comes so close to it, it will not hunt. Do we know that?
Yes.
It doesn't. Same with any even dog or cat or anything. Once it is full, they don't hunt further. But look at us. We have food. We will be earning, keeping. Even if I know some people, when they get food, they put it in fridges, they rotten it, and finally they throw it after a month, but they don't give it to anyone. Just because, if they give that food to someone else, they might not have food tomorrow. How ridiculous it is. Right? Now you might get a question saying that, Prabhuji, what about mosquitoes? So we kill mosquitoes, right? Do we get bad karma or do we get good karma?
Good karma.
Good karma? How? Hare Krishna Mataji. How do we get good karma?
Because when they bite on us, we can get ill.
Haribol, yeah, right. Yeah. So there is, you can kill aggressors. Yeah. Pradeep Prabhu is saying neither good karma nor bad karma. We will understand why it is neither good karma nor bad karma. So when we can always kill bloodsuckers. There is no problem about it. But if you are buying that bat and coming and as if you are playing shuttle badminton, if you're trying to run and then brutally killing the mosquitoes, if you're enjoying it, you get bad karma, right? You should not be doing it with an intention of enjoying, or you should not kind of try to enjoy that demonic quality, right? That will definitely incur bad karma. But if some mosquito is coming to you and biting it, definitely you can kill it. There is no question about it, right? So this is what happens. But whereas, when you're killing for a reason. You want to save your body. You don't want to get any malaria or anaphylaxis diseases, and you don't want to suffer that. You want to serve Lord Krishna nicely, so you're killing that mosquito. There is no problem in it. You can kill it. But whereas if you're going to market and buying that mosquito bat and then coming and killing, that is bad karma, because you're trying to enjoy the demonic nature. That will even, in fact, let me tell this actually. There are many people. I mean, I have seen personally. There are many people. When there happens an accident, they go and observe very closely. They say Ayyo Rama, but still they don't move from there. They will observe that bloodsheds and everything. In fact, our mind tendency at times goes like, if there are few people gathered on a road, we go with an precognition that there happened an accident, someone is stuck by a lorry or some car, and then he was shedding blood. That's the kind of precognited picture that we go with. The moment we go there, if someone is playing nice song there, we get disheartened at times. right? I mean, this kind. In fact, there is a movie Spider. I think that movie also has come, which actually elaborately talks about this kind of intent that human beings possess. So we presume that there has happened an accident, there are bloodshedds and things like that. The moment you go there, if there is nothing, you get disappointed. I mean, we don't know, we cannot recognize it, but it is there. Believe me, Provis and Malas, everyone will have it, right? Now, to take to get out of this kind of mentality, what we should do, we should, when there is happens, even if you're killing a mosquito, say Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. What you should say, Krishna, I have to save myself from these aggregators, so I'm killing it. Give her a good birth so that she or he can become a devotee. This is what we should pray to Krishna. Actually, my Shiksha Guru, he narrated one nice story. How karma comes back, I'll tell you in this story. What happened was, he went to Mayapur, right? Mayapur, our, Navdeep Dham, Mayapur, right? Where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taken birth, right? So he went to Mayapur, and then he saw a spider web. And that spider, there is a small spider in the spider web. Now he looked at it. He went to Mayapur from Hyderabad, and the spider is sitting in Mayapur. And then he just blew some air just to give her a feeling of a lulling feeling, right? He just blew little air, and the web started moving, and the spider was also doing julan, like it is lulling, right? The moment it went that side, there is a lizard. It is vigorously waiting for it, and then it put his tongue out and caught the spider and eaten it. See what happened. Prabhuji went from Hyderabad to Mayapur, and that lizard is this spider is sitting in Mayapur, and because it sounds as if the spider was to be eaten by the lizard. So Prabhuji went to Mayapur and he blew the air to give some nice feeling to it, but unfortunately it got killed. Look at it. Where is Hyderabad? Where is Mayapur? And someone going to Mayapur, and then it kind of had to burn its karma. Right? We don't know how the karma comes back, right? Now, what about all other animals? Now, is the lizard gone? Okay, let me put one more story here, important story here. There is an eagle. Okay, before to that, there is a kingdom, and the king decided to feed Brahmanas, right? So he made an announcement saying that all the Brahmanas will be fed today, right? Now, there are many Brahmanas who came to eat. They do nice. The king did nice puja and then nice yajna and all he did. And then he started feeding the Brahmanas. So when he was feeding the Brahmanas, they were eating nice, very delicious food. After eating the delicious food, few of the Brahmanas left their body. Right? Anyone knows why few of the Brahmanas left their body? What has happened was the food was poisoned. Yeah, the food was poisoned. Now, how did the food got poisoned? Because there is an eagle killed a snake, and the eagle was carrying the snake overhead, right? Now, when the snake was killed, right, through its mouth, some poison fall in the food that the Brahmanas were eating, right? So the king was feeding Brahmanas nice, delicious prashadam, and then there is an eagle that is carrying over the snake overhead, and when it was carrying the snake overhead, some poison drops from the mouth of the snake has fallen on the in the plate of the Brahmanas, right? Now the Brahmanas died. Now what to do? The king is kind of in so much of sorrow, thinking that what kind of thing that I did. But if you look at other Brahmanas, they were still alive. Even king cannot say that the food poisoning has happened, right? Now Yamadharmaraj has come on his vehicle, right? He was trying to see. Now everyone is responsible, right? If there happens one big robbery in a town, and the sub inspector or the circle inspector is very much responsible for that. If he's not able to resolve the case, at times they even lose their jobs, right? Now Yamadharmaraj is responsible for accounting someone for this death. Now whom Yamadharmaraj can account for this? Can someone tell me whom Yamadharmaraj can account for this? Can he account the eagle for that?
No.
Why?
It is just carrying food for itself.
Yes, it's carrying.
But it is not the reason for dropping the poison on their food.
Yeah, it is not. It is completely unaware of what has happened, right? So can that whom can there has to be some. See, if there happened a theft, or if something had happened, the money would be with someone, right? Like that. Now whom can Yamadharmaraj account for this mistake? Now we said eagle cannot be accounted because it is carrying its own food. It is not even aware of the poison in the snake's mouth. Now who is accountable? Is the king accountable for that?
No.
Why? King is also not accountable because he did not mix poison in the food. Now who is accountable?
Their karmas are accountable of themselves.
That is true, Mataji, but Yamadharmara's job is at stake. Now Yamadharmaraj is in a big trouble. Now if Yamadharmaraj is not holding someone responsible, Krishna will come and ask him. So what he should do? So when he was going on his bull vehicle, thinking, in the town there is a discussion happening between an old lady and two old ladies. Right, there is a discussion happening. One old lady is asking the other old lady, right, how did the Brahmanas die? Then the other old lady, you know what she said? Can someone guess what the other old lady said? The other old
told the king has killed.
Haribol, yeah. So the other, it's pretty trivial, right? Anyway, even if I'm sitting there, it's pretty trivial that I can say that these Brahmanas, they had food given by the king, so they died. I can tell that the king has mixed poison in their food. Is what I would say. So the other old lady answered to the old lady who has asked the question. She said, the king mixed poison in the Brahmanas' food plate. Then Yamadharmaraj got very happy. Why Yamadharmaraj got very happy?
Because that karma can be attached to this old lady.
Correct. So then he said, Chitragupta, Eureka, I found the person whom I can account it to. He came and held the old lady who said that the king has mixed poison and took her away. This is what happens. So karma is like that. Creating karma is not directly going and killing someone. Even if we haven't killed, if we are talking things that we haven't seen about, karma comes to us. See, I mean, now you might say that Prabhuji, what nonsense are you talking? If life is like this, can I live or not? First of all, even if I talk nonsense about someone, if karma is coming, am I responsible? Yes, that's why we should not do prajalpa. That's why we are not supposed to talk anything that where Krishna is not in the center. Now we might say, Prabhuji, I'm talking about a project which talks about digitalization or integration or something like a data science or predictive analytics or hypercubes and all. Now, yes, of course you can talk. We need to understand the reason why we are talking. We are talking about those projects which doesn't involve Krishna directly, but it involves Krishna indirectly. How? If I am doing a sales job, I have to convince customers on the projects and earn enough. Once I earn enough, I would be able to take care of my family and prasadam for Krishna and deity dressing and all, so that my family also can aramse eat nice prasadam and continue their devotional service. So indirectly, it is attributed to Krishna service only, right? So when we talk something or when we do our activities, there has to be Krishna in the center, right? So we have to be very, very careful when we are talking about things that we haven't seen. If we have seen with our bare eyes, not even chasma, remove chasma, look at it. If you've seen it, then only go it. Even after looking with our eyes, we get cheated, right? We have seen that in our previous sessions. If our senses also cheat us, right? So even if we see it, we should not talk bad things. In fact, Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Ramapada Swami Maharaj says, when we talk about negative things about others, we are not talking about others, we are talking about ourselves. When you talk negatively about someone else, your soul keeps an impression of it. So it is not at all recommended to talk negatively about anyone and everyone, right? If there are some goods, talk about it, but never ever talk about bad things, right? Yeah. So last behind karma, right? Anything that goes comes back. Impartial. What? So karma doesn't look at this guy is rich, this guy has done something good. Actually, I think I want to give I want to give an example here, right? Karma is impartial. Actually, when I bought my plot in Hyderabad, I think it was 2012, right? In 2012, I bought the plot in Hyderabad, right? When I bought the plot, I bought from a person. I bought from a person who is like a, what do you say? I mean, he is kind of an aggregator, you can say. He actually collects lands and then sells it, right? So I heard one story from there. The story talks about, someone told him that he has one cow in his house. So someone told him that even if you kill someone, you give a banana to the cow, it will save you. Is it true? Someone told that you give banana to this cow and it will even save you from, even if you kill someone, even if you're a killer, that sin will go off. Is it possible? Is it possible? If I
No.
if I give a
No.
banana, if I give a banana to the cow, forget about giving it one day. Think of it as giving it to giving every single day. Let's say I'm giving a banana to the cow every single day. Can that karma go? Let's say that I'm giving it for 10 lives. Prabhuji and Mataji's doesn't go. If I kill someone, I have to be killed. There is no question about it. I have to be killed if I kill someone. There is no excuse, and it doesn't come. It is not compensated by any means. Even if I save someone from his death, that does not compensate. For example, let's say I killed someone, and then I am kind of say repenting about it. I killed because of some reason, but I'm repenting about it. Now over time, I found when I was repenting, I have got an opportunity to save someone's life. Someone is about to be killed, I go and then save him by whatnot. I kind of do all. I put all my efforts and then save that man or woman or a small child. It doesn't compensate. Believe me, it is not gonna get compensated. That murder that I did and the savior that I did, they will not get compensated. There is no question about it. Killer must be killed. That is law of nature. Savior must be saved. That is the law of nature. If I save someone, I will I will incur some good karma that will save me someday, right? So every single person gets two accounts. One is good karma account, another one is bad karma account, right? Now what happens with good karma account and what happens with bad karma account? In good karma account, all the good deeds will go. In bad karma account, all the bad deeds will go. Those two are not single account. I can't say, I have my good karma account in Axis Bank and bad karma account in HDFC Bank. Now I have got bad karma account means credit card on. Let's say credit card. Now I will take the debit card money and pay credit card. No, Prabhujis and Matas, it's not possible. These are two complete. It's not like credit and debit. They cannot be balanced with each other. They both are debits only. If I have good karma, it's good debit, and if it's bad karma, it's bad debit. Now with bad karma, I have to suffer in hell, but again I'll have an opportunity to come back. Whereas with good karma, I'll have the opportunity to go to heaven, where in the heaven it's all beautiful things happen, right? So, like Lakshmi Mataji has sent one flyer, right? If you go to heaven, you enjoy somarasa, that wine. You enjoy beautiful things. You enjoy good money, good lot of luxuries. But the moment your account goes to reserve, you will get a message saying that, hey, your account is getting over. Get ready to go to Buloka. You will definitely get that final message, reserve message, and then you'll get a final message saying where you will be thrown out again to Buloka, right? Once your good deeds are burnt in the Swargaloka, heavenly planets, you'll have to come back. Likewise, even for the bad deeds also. So you will get two accounts, right? One is in USD, which is good deeds. Another one is Indonesia currency, which is bad deeds, right? Now, someone, as I said, someone told him that if you feed banana to cow every single day, your karma of bad karma of killing the person will. No, Prabhuji, is not possible, and karma is unstoppable. Bhagavatam says, your karma, actually, even if there are 1,000 cows and you leave one calf there, it will go and find its cow. Vice versa. Do you know that? Even if there are thousands and thousands of cows, if you leave the calf can go and find its cow mother. Like that, wherever you hide yourself, karma comes back. The way a calf finds its mother cow, like that, karma comes back and finds us. It is unstoppable. It cannot be stopped. Can we fight against laws of God? First of all, why are there laws? Why are there so many laws? Why are there so many laws? Can we fight against the traffic rules? Actually, what happened was, in 2015, I believe, I was in Oak Brook, Chicago, Illinois State. So it was late night, around 3 o'clock. I finished my work. I was driving the car, right? And when I was driving the car, I was so tired. I wanted to go. I wanted to reach my hotel as early as possible. No, I think I was not in hotel. I was in a rented apartment that time. I was driving so fast. I wanted to reach as early as possible. And one cop car came. There was like, in US, they don't stop you. There'll be one car following you, and the car will, nowadays we have got these cars, right? The cop cars with red and blue lights glowing. Those lights in US, the intensity is much higher. So I was driving my car, then there is a cop car that is coming behind with two lights. I was like, okay, I mean, it's just 1 month that I went to, it was in the very beginning. It was just 1 month. I know that there are rules of the road, and there are cops are coming. I was like, okay, let me go a little further. I was going. Then there came another cop car. So two cars started following. Then I thought, okay, these guys are gonna catch me. Now I stopped the car. I stopped the car. Then the cop came, and there are rules in US, right? You should not get out of the car. You have to pull down your window shield, and then either put your hands in the pocket, or fold your hands like this. You're not supposed to open your hands. They will think that you're going to take your gun out and then shoot them. So they even have the rights to shoot you if you take your hands out, if you keep your hands free. So you should not keep your hands free. Rather, you put your hands in your pockets, or you fold your hands if cop comes to you. So the cop came. I pulled down the window and folded my hands. Then he said, you're driving at a speed much higher than what you're supposed to be. He put a torchlight and showed, see, that is the speed limit. Speed limit is 35 miles, and you're driving at 69 miles. 34 miles higher than the actual speed is what he said. I said, okay, I'm new to this country. I just came here. I don't have a driving license. I came with an Indian driving permit. So please leave me. He's like, what nonsense are you talking? Right? So he said, I'm noting down your license number and everything. And after that, I got chalana. But, I could have been even jailed, because I don't know the rule. My punishment gone little down, but the punishment was not, completely removed, right? And the person is kind of, not hot-headed. The cop is not hot-headed. So he luckily didn't give me full punishment. Had he given me full punishment, I would have been jailed there, right? Because I am driving almost at the double the speed of what is supposed to be, right? So I got a ticket, and it is closed there, right? Like that. Even if you look at, to drive on the road, you have laws and rules. So definitely there are rules made by God, right? So if you're coming and saying that how can God put rules? Yes, of course he has to put. For even to save small lives on the roads, we have so many laws. Now God is trying to deal with so many different kinds of lives. It is not just human being. He's trying to deal with different kinds of living entities. So definitely there will be rules, right? Now karma deals with our tendencies. Will we follow rules when they are not being governed? No, of course we will not follow, right? We don't belong to, even for that matter, at times we don't follow rules in India, but when we go to United States, we'll try to follow the rules, because there the rules and their if we don't follow the rules, their consequences are pretty strong. That's why we follow, right? We don't belong to this material world, hence following rules is strange to us. If you look at it, we don't like rules because in Golak Vrindavan there are no rules. Why there are no rules? Why there are no rules in Golak Vrindavan? Where do we belong to? We belong to Golok Vrindavan, right? Are there rules in Golok Vrindavan? No, there are no rules. Why there are no rules in Golok Vrindavan? There is no need of rules at all. So we belong to a place where there are no rules. That is the reason why we don't like to follow the rules here. But we are made to follow because we are overrunning the red, right? Now, rewards and punishment. We might say that why I should be punished, or why I should be rewarded, right? But if you look at it, we all use it, right? Why can't God? So in US there is, again, I mean, I keep giving examples of US because they really relate pretty well, right? Because people follow the rules there. At the same time, if someone is not following the rules, they're really punished properly, right? And there is no way that one can escape. One can do something wrong and escape. There are hardly 1 out of 10,000 maybe a chance of escaping, right? Otherwise you cannot really escape from there, right? So we all use it. Then why God cannot use it, right? God, now who is doing rewards and punishment? Durgama, Subhadramai, right? She is the jailer. Who is taking care of the jail? Subhadramai, Maya, right? Now God punishes us based on how much we can take, right? If everything is instant karma, we cannot lead a stable life. We cannot lead a stable life because I killed a person, so immediately I'm killed. Where is the life, right? Now I kind of kill a hen, immediately I'll be killed. So you cannot live a stable life. You can't even learn things. To go back to Golak Vrindavan, it requires some certain duration, right? So for example, if you're failing an examination, they will not throw you out. They will give you supplementary, and then even if you're failing supplementary, they will ask you to write the next year, right? Like that, you will be given some time. So karma is not instantaneously burnt unless there is an equation balance, right? Believe me, Prabhu, it is a very complex equation that is there, calculated when the reactions happen to the actions. It is very, very complex equation, right? Reactions are a reminder to check our future actions. We might think, why at all I am getting this punishment? We are getting this punishment because to remind us about what we have done and what we should not do in the future, right? Now, yeah, this is one important slide that I want to discuss. Common questions about karma. Why there is so much injustice? Why law is not working on bad people? We all get this question, right? We all get this question. Why the law is not working on bad people? Someone is doing bad, why he is not suffering? Because harvesting doesn't follow immediately after showing, right? We have even got this Dhritarashtra story, right? We'll come back to that. Now, what happens is, in olden days, people used to store rice in silos, and new rice used to be put from the top, and old rice used to be taken from the silos, because the old rice is something that is cookable and edible, right? So everything has to be aged properly so that it comes. So now if you look at karma, see, even small things like eating rice, we are very choosy about 8 months old rice, 6 months old rice. Like that, even if you go to the law of karma executors, the mills of God, the mills which actually deal with karma, action and its reaction, these God mills grind slow, but they grind really fine. They make sure that no single stone is unturned. Means 100 points of karma, even if it's 100.1, 100.123456986, 100.123456986 will be burnt completely, even to the decimals of after full stop. Even if there are 32 digits, all the 32 digits of karma will be burnt. To that level, the mills of God will grind us, right? Why some people flourish permanently? This is a famous thing that we see, right? There are many people who may be doing so many things, but they still flourish. Of course, again, when we are saying that they are flourishing, there could be multiple ways of looking at it. For example, let's consider the story of, I have many examples like that. I have one friend, I went to IISc Bangalore and he went to IIT Roorkee. We both are very competitors in my hometown, right? So we are pretty strong. I mean, both of us are very strong. We were very strong in mathematics and physics, and we both did engineering. After that, we both did masters. I went to IISc Bangalore. He went to IIT Roorkee. He's very, very intelligent guy. And post that, he got placed in Microsoft. I got placed in Oracle. Okay. Now, this guy, it's like he was such a nice person. And after almost like around 10 years, I met him. After I came to my hometown after lockdown, I came here, and when I saw him, he's like alone. His parents left him. He was unmarried. Now he's 38 years. Of course, I mean, he's like of my age. Now we both are 38 years, and he's unmarried. And he's trying to find a match for him, and there is no one to help him find a match. And he lost his job. He set up a training institute in my hometown, and even the training institute is not going well, despite of he being so intelligent. And he earned well. I mean, of course, if someone is working in Microsoft, they will definitely be earning good, right? Even if someone is not working in Microsoft, they would definitely earn well, right? So, kind of, 18 years of job or 17 years of job experience, he will definitely earn well, right? But I asked him, are you happy like this? He said, no. He has money, he has family, but his family is not there, and he's not able to enjoy his money in the sense, and he's not married. Look at it. So you can't say that if someone is flourishing means he's enjoying his life. Can we say that Amitabh Bachchan is happy in his life? He's a Karodpati, right? Can we say that he's happy? For that matter, can we say Bill Gates is happy? Or Zuckerberg is happy? Or, you might have all read about the Steve Jobs story before to death, right? So we never know. Just because someone is having money doesn't mean that they're happy in life. We can't say that, I mean, I have found many people, there is one of my friend who actually has quit his job. He quit his job, and then he went to his hometown. After going to his hometown, he bought 2 cows, and he had 1 acre of land. This is 10 years backstory. Now he has got 40 cows and so many bulls, and he has got 40 acres of land in 10 years. So someone losing job, they may be suffering instantaneously, but it could be their good karma. We have got another example, right? My Shiksha Guru, he was working for a person in the United States, and that company CEO, he was celebrating John's Day, and that John's Day was celebrated on August 4th, right? And we all know July 4th is Independence Day in US, but August 4th, it is not an Independence Day, but still it was celebrated. It was celebrated saying John's Day. Now my Shiksha Guru went to him and asked, what is this John's Day? This guy is okay, I will tell you later. But my Shiksha Guru was insisting on him, tell me. Then he took me to a corner and started talking about what is John's Day. John's Day, John was the ex-CEO of that CEO for whom my Shiksha Guru was working, right? So John was John was a person for whom the CEO used to work. Now that John fired him, after he fired him, this guy came out and then set up a company. Now after setting up this company, he flourished. So he celebrates John's Day because had John not fired him, he wouldn't have set up this company, and he wouldn't have grown so great, right? That's why he celebrates John's Day, and he was not telling it loud because he invites John also for that party. So that is why he was not telling out loud, right? So these are things that happen in life. At times we think that is bad that is happening, but it may not be a real bad that is happening to us, right? No one flourishes permanently, as nothing is permanent. There is there a dukkalayam asasvitam. This material world is dukkalayam, and the beauty of this is it is asasvitam. Prabhu and Mata is we don't have to worry that this if you have a pain that will last, it will not be there forever, because dukkalayam asasvatam, right? It is not permanent. Good or bad is not going to be permanent. Everyone is subject to old age, disease, and death, right? Till good karma is in stock, one can get good results in spite of bad acts. So this is one thing that we have to note down here. Why someone is suffering good karma despite of doing bad things? Because they're enjoying good things because of their past good karma. They've done a lot of good karma in the past. Now they took birth in a lavish family, opulent family. Now as they haven't, you might get a question, Prabhuji, why they haven't got this opportunity to listen about devotional service? They would have definitely either got but rejected, or they might have been rejecting it from the past so many lives. But despite, as they have good karma, they are burning it, right? Now repeated cycle of such good and bad reactions induces one to think. Now why are we suffering so much? Because the repeated suffering, there are many vanaprasthas and sannyasas we might have heard of, right? They're so fed up in the family life, because of which they take sannyasa. So which means what it shows is there is so much of suffering in this material world, right? That suffering leads someone to take a decision to become a devotee of the Lord, right? Why reincarnation is related to karma, right? Instant karma means cause and effect in the same life. Why it is suffered in the same life? When one does not see reactions for his actions, it means they are moved to next life, right? So if someone is not suffering despite, okay, we might get, Prabhuji, you are saying so much. Now many people are eating chicken, so why are still they are not suffering immediately after eating the chicken or whatever non-vegetarian food? Because karma is not instantaneous, right? And there is a calculation, as I said. It's possible that you may be a hen or I may be a hen in my past life. I might have eaten that, and this life I'm eating that hen. That's also possible. And in this life, if I'm eating that hen, the hen might take a human form in the next life, and I might take a hen form in the next life, and I might be eaten by that hen. What is mamsa? Mamsa, eat me, right? Why should I suffer for sins of the past life? Now, if you look at this bamboo, right? Bamboo, 5 years you water it, you don't see, you even gonna fed up. But one single year it grows so tall. Like that, even the karma comes, it gets accumulated, and finally it comes. Why does not God give all reactions in the same life? Okay, now why are we not getting the reaction in the same life? As we said, it's just one life for us. But karma is not related to body, right? This body belongs to only this life. What about next life? So if you look at it, karma, does it belong to body or soul? Body is doing it, but it is related to the soul, right? As we said, soul has two bank accounts. One is good karma, another one is bad karma, right? Now all these things, they have to come up with proper things. For example, when we have this cloth, right, polyester cloth, let's say, so there are so many chemicals that were put, and then the chemicals were dipped in some solvents, and then it is waved properly, then the cloth is made, that cloth is stitched to get a shirt or trouser, right? So when there something has to come out, there happens so much of processing. So there are so many things on the left side. When I say left side, the raw materials, processing, stitching, all these things, and the right side is a nice shirt or trouser. Like that, the things have to come together for one karma to be burnt. Let's take this example of Dhritarashtra. Actually, after the war, all the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra were killed. Dhritarashtra asks Krishna, right? What does he ask? Dhritarashtra asks, why do I have to suffer this pain of losing 100 sons? What was Krishna's answer? Now Krishna starts explaining. In your past 50 first life, you killed 100 ducklings. He killed 100 ducklings. He did not kill them to save someone, or he did not kill them because he doesn't have anything else to eat. He killed them out of demonic nature, right? He killed 100 ducklings in past 50 first life. Now, then Dhritarashtra asked him, okay, I killed 100 ducklings. Why didn't I get 100 children in the same or next life and get the 100 children killed? Why do I have to wait for this 50 lifetimes? What did Krishna say? To get 2 children, you need to do good deeds for 1 lifetime. So Krishna explaining, the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself is explaining this to Dhritarashtra. What is saying? To get 2 children, you need to do some kind of things. So you need to, it need not be sons, it could be daughters or sons. So to get 2 children, you need to do good deeds for 1 lifetime. Like that, he had to do 50 lifetimes of good deeds, good karma. Then he gets these 100 sons. Now the time came, 100 children were killed and karma got balanced. See, this is how it happens, right? Now if you're saying, I kind of, by mistake I've done this, why am I not suffering in the same life? It's possible that the equations are not balancing. It is calculated to such an extent. It is not that, killer is killed, not like that. Whatever, pre-processing and post-processing things, all those things have to come together to have the karma balanced, right? The way action and reaction works is not easy. It is very complex equation. It is non-linear equation, you can say. I was actually discussing with one of my friends, karma is not just burnt like that. There are complex non-linear equations that are balanced, and it balances to, 16 digit or 32 digit or whatever kilobyte or megabyte you talk about after decimal. It burns to that extent, right? Okay. Now I don't understand the relation between the reaction and action. Why am I not told my sin before I am punished? So did anyone observe the cigarette packet ever? This question is famous, right? I don't understand the relation between my reaction and action. Why am I not told my sin before I am punished? Did anyone observe what is written on the tobacco products? It is very clearly written that tobacco is injurious to health. It causes cancer. But does anyone stop smoking cigarette after reading it? Does anyone stop consuming tobacco after listening to that? No. Then what is the benefit of letting someone know that this is the sin because of which you got punished, right? Innumerable lives and actions are combined into reactions and then divided based on our ability to face. This is what I was talking about, the nonlinear equation. If you look at it, the karma that we are burning may not be just related to one life. It could be from multiple lives and balanced and came out as a product, and that product of the reaction is what we may be suffering. Or it is possible that you have performed only one action, but that one action's karma cannot be burnt in one single reaction. So you need to balance it in multiple lives or in the same life in multiple ways, right? Now, just because we know our past sin does not stop us from still performing our reactions. We know that, our past sin doesn't stop us from performing our reactions. No one can wake up and start a new day when he knows what all he will face without hope. Actually, I mean, this point is something that actually reminds me of one example, Prabhuji. No one can wake up and start a new day when he knows what all he will face without hope. Now, if Krishna comes and tells you, tomorrow you're gonna suffer this because in your last life you have done so many so much of nonsense, you've eaten so many chickens, or you've eaten so many ducklings, all these things, you cannot even get up, Prabhuji. I mean, it will be so bewildering. Thinking about it itself, we cannot run our life. Do we know actually eating meat gives sin for 7 different people? Who are all the 7 people? Who are all the 7 people, Prabhujis and Matajis, that suffer of one killing of an animal or a bird? Do we know? The person who grows it, the person who sells it, the person who kills it, the person who buys it, the person who cooks it, the person who serves it, and the person who eats it. How many people will suffer for one killing? 7 people will suffer. The person who grows it, the person who sells it, the person who kills it, the person who buys it, the person who cooks it, the person who serves it, the person who eats it. All the 7 people get equal karma of killing of animal. Everyone will undergo, in the sense, what it means is, if one hen is killed, one hen is grown, sold, killed, bought, cooked, served, and eaten, all these people will take life of a hen in their next, or the next, whenever the equation balances, they will take, and all the different, these 7 people, 7 reactions that happen, they exactly balance the hens, the life of the hen, right? So this is these so complex equations that are inculcated in there. I don't know loss of karma. Why am I subject to punishment? I gave that example, right? I was driving at 69 miles an hour, where I'm supposed to go at only 35 miles an hour. Did that cop just excuse me? No, I was caught. And this is what happens. You know, even if you don't know about the karma, that even if you don't know the law, you have to suffer the karma, because the law is made for something. If you are excused, even if you are excused, for example, if I come and tell that, I don't know, I am not supposed to go at this speed, I went at this speed, someone got killed, just because I don't know the law, can you please excuse me from punishment? No. But there happened something. There has to be someone accountable for that. Someone got killed, someone has to be accountable. The same story, right? The brahmanas killed by eating poisonous food. Someone has to be accountable. So that is why, even if you don't know karma, your punishment cannot be reduced. Ignorance of law is not an excuse. This is very strong statement. I heard from my god brothers and sisters. Ignorance is not an excuse. You have to know about it, right? Because as a human being, we have got intelligence. See, here it tells human beings are punishable because they misuse free will. Animals' free will is very limited. Their free will is very limited, right? And it is our responsibility to learn law. So, taken birth in the country like India, right? So it is such a great country. I mean, you are given from your birth itself, you are told don't lie and all these things, right? Punishment is minimized for someone who don't know the law. Like the example that I gave, I would have been jailed, but I was not jailed, rather I was given a ticket. If someone is not getting to know laws of karma, that only means he has declined it thoroughly in their past lives, right? Kali Yuga is filled with living entities who have rejected all knowledge of laws in previous yugas. So Prabhuji, as we discussed in earlier slokas, right? What was that sloka? What was that sloka? Nainam Chinnanti Sastrani, right? So we were existing in the past, we are existing now, we will exist in the future. Like that, but still, why are we existing in material world? Why didn't we go to Goloka? Because, we have rejected to learn the knowledge of scriptures. Kali Yuga is filled with living entities who have rejected all knowledge of laws in Satyuga, Treta Yuga, and Dwapara Yuga. We have rejected the laws. That's why we are in the rotten age of Kali Yuga, and we are, made to learn these laws, right? We can easily see that tendency when we ask people to read scriptures. Many people, I mean, you look at how many people are there in the meeting now. There are 11 people, right? So there were 76 registrants, out of which only 11 people were left. Because the age of Kali, we have been rejecting Prabhus and Matajis. We have been rejecting, and that's why we are still in Kali Yuga, and the next is going to come Gaur Kali Yuga. We already heard about it, right? So if we are rejecting scriptures, means there is a reason behind it for why we are rejecting. It's possible, at times it is possible that we might have done some Vaishnava aparad. What is meant by Vaishnava aparad? Vaishnava aparad means it is not an aparad to a person who has this tilak, dhoti, kurta, and everything. Even if someone has chanted Hare Krishna Mahamantra even once in their lifetime, you have to call him a Vaishnava, right? Vaishnavas are Krishna's guests. How can we blaspheme them? You know, if someone is, actually my mother, she started chanting recently, and along with my mother, there is, we have got our tenants in first floor, and there is one girl who is 5 years old. She comes and she calls my mother Ammamma, means mother's mother, right? She comes and sits with my mother, and when my mother is chanting, she also starts chanting. That 5 years old girl, and she chants very well. I'm not supposed to do any aparadha to that girl. Why? Though she is 5 years old, I'm not supposed to do any aparadha because she chanted Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So that is what there is say, right? Stranapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Savisrana, Amananiya Manadana, Kirtaniya Sadahari. If you really want to become a Vaishnava, you have to be humbler than a blade of grass. That is the kind of quality that we should inculcate, right? So we should not do any aparadha to Vaishnavas, right? Yeah. And such people suffer until they develop the urge to question and learn again. So if someone is not able to withstand in this satsang, it could be two reasons, as I said. Either we have blasphemed a devotee. For example, it's possible that, I might go and tell Sucharita, Sucharita Mataji, this devotee, he or she, they are doing pretty well. But if the moment I put but, Krishna will note it down. Okay, Udayananda Das has made a aparadha to this Vaishnava who has been chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra for the last 8 weeks. That's it. End of story. End of my devotional service. That's it. I will be thrown out of this chair. This is so, Prabhuji and Matajis, in fact, we were talking about all these things in our WhatsApp group, right? When someone was putting some messages, we kind of feel so painful to tell that Prabhuji or Mataji, to tell this is right and this is wrong, because you people, whoever are there in the groups are so nice people. The moment we tell and try to explain, we are trying to go stage wise, we start with ABC and then words and then sentences. You are nicely listening to and then kind of getting an understanding of it. But there are many devotees, the moment you say, Prabhuji, this is something not from the Sampradaya, there will be a snake coming out of their head and say, who the hell are you to tell me? And they will run away from the devotional service. They will exit out of the group. So this is what will happen. And that is an aparadha, unfortunately. We are not, I want to make one point very clear. Whoever are there in the WhatsApp group trying to learn scriptures, or whoever is attending this satsang, they're all guests of Krishna. They're not ordinary beings. I can tell you, Prabhuji and Matajis, the people who are attending satsang, the people who are there in the WhatsApp group who are trying to learn scriptures, they're not ordinary beings. They came for a reason. They came for a reason to this group, and Krishna has sent them. They're all guests of Krishna. We have to treat them like guests of Krishna. If someone is our guest, how do we treat? We treat them with so much respect. Then how can you, Hare Krishna? Let me mute. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, how can we treat guests of Krishna with, how can we, just like that, casually treat Krishna's guests? So when someone is putting messages which are out of Sampradaya, we take so much pain and we read the message so many times before posting. Is it gonna hurt? Is it because taking one person away from Krishna consciousness, it is not a small aparadha. You have to, of course, bringing a person and taking a person. Both are, great things. One is greatest good thing and one is greatest worst thing, right? So we need to be very careful. When we talk to devotees, we have to be very, very careful and cautious. We should not take them away from Krishna. And if we take them away from Krishna, I can't tell what kind of sin that we are going to incur, right? So we have to be very careful with devotees. Levels of access based on our behavior, right? Generally, there are 3 levels. General jail and second degree jail and third degree jail. Which jail we are in, Prabhuji and Mataji? You can unmute yourself and speak out. Which jail do you think we all are in? Any guesses? General jail or second degree jail or third degree jail? We are in third degree jail, unfortunately. Sorry to say that, but we are in third degree jail. We are kept away from everyone. They even harm the reformers and jailers. I wouldn't call it third degree jail. I would call it third degree jail if we are in Western countries, right? Why? When we are put in Western countries to keep us so away from even India, because if we are in India, there will be little devotional service that people will perform. We come and spoil them and take them for bars, pubs, and etc. That is why people who are really, really reformers, even so the people who can even make harm to reformers and jailers, They are kept in countries like Uganda, United States, and all these places where you are given opportunities to enjoy like anything, but you will never be given an idea to, when we go to yatras in Vrindavan, Mayapur, and all, right? We see people from Western countries chanting. We kind of see, Prabhupada, he's such a Patita Pavan. He can even pull up the most fallen of the fallens. How can we expect someone from the Western country to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra? How fortunate they are, something they must have done to get a darshan of Prabhupada and ISKCONs, right? So that is the beauty of ISKCON, right? So maybe we are in second degree jail because we are kept in a small group, but we are given access to the scriptures, right? Yeah. This is the last slide. We'll talk a few more questions and then we'll take question and answers, then we'll close it. Does God like punishing us? What about his mercy? We already talked about what is the kind of person Yamadharmaraj is. Who is qualified for Yamadharmaraj post? Who is fit for Yamadharmaraj? This is a question that was been asked even in WhatsApp group, I believe. Who is fit for the role of Yamadharmaraj? The person who is the most sensitive, who feels pain even to pinch someone. That is the kind of person fit for Yamadharmaraj role. So when Yamadharmaraj is like that, does God like punishing us? No, he does not. God's mercy is higher than God's punishment. We heard about this, right? God's mercy is much higher than God's punishment, right? Now God incarnates and sends his devotees to explain law of karma and process of bhakti, and even to people who want to reject God, right? If you look at Prabhupada, at the age of 70 years, he has got nice place in Vrindavan, but still he left all those things. He traveled to Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, someone is talking. Yeah, if you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, maybe you might want to go on mute if you have some some discussion going on in there at your house. Okay. Now God incarnates and sends his devotees to explain law of karma and process of bhakti even to people who want to reject God. In fact, this I wanted to narrate one story here. When Lord Krishna was leaving this earth planet, Ganga Mata went to Krishna and said, Krishna, I cannot live here. You are leaving, and this entire world will be filled with miseries and sinful reactions. They all will come and wash the shins in here. I don't want to be here. Then Krishna said, don't worry. 5,000 years after, my devotee will come and create so many devotees of me who takes your sins. That is none other than Prabhupada, right? So Prabhupada came to this world. If you listen to his story, or if you read Prabhupada Leelamrit, which we'll come to later. So if you read, you will understand. Prabhupada left Vrindavan at the age of 70 years. He went to Mrs. Morarji, who has a shipping company in Kolkata, right? So Mrs. Morarji has a very big shipping company. She even, in fact, helped Prabhupada in his book printing mission, right? Then Prabhupada went to her and asked, can you give me one ticket to sit in your ship and go to United States? Mrs. Morarji said no. Then Prabhupada said, can't you give one single ticket to me? It's one small old person can sit in a corner of the ship and can travel to United States. Then Mrs. Morarji said, Prabhupada, I'm not saying that I don't want to give a ticket. Swamiji, I'm not saying I don't want to give a ticket because I don't have money or I don't have a place for you to sit. Rather, when I look at you, I see my father in you, my late father in you, who is of your same age, and I cannot let my father go to United States. I know the condition there. I know the people there. I know what kind of suffering you will undergo if you go to United States. So I don't want to let you go is what Mrs. Morarji said to Prabhupada, right? Then Prabhupada understood, okay, Mrs. Morarji is saying no to me because he is seeing her father in me. Then he turned back and he is going to go back to his, he was about to leave Mrs. Morarji that day. And when he went near to the door, again he remembers. He gets one idea. Krishna gives all these ideas to devotees, right? So he turns this side towards Morarji and asks, if going to United States is the wish of your father, if is the only wish of your father, can you satisfy? Then Mrs. Morarji goes into tears and she says, yeah, if father says this is my wish, daughter doesn't have a right to stop him. She says, and then gives the ticket. Now, if you look at why Prabhupada has to think so much to go to United States, is it a place to enjoy for him at the age of 70 years? He had only 40 rupees and few potatoes and the Bhagavatam books. That's all he had when he was boarding the ship Jaladuta. Why he had to suffer so much? He has suffered so much for us to understand. Prabhuji and Matajis, on today, 18th of October, we are sitting here and discussing about scriptures means it is all the mercy of Prabhupada, who has been sent by Lord Krishna to us. Right? Yeah. Son of God. He even sent Jesus, right? He sent Jesus Christ. Yeah, God is partial in giving his knowledge. Yes, people with good karma take birth in pious and God conscious or upland families. They have time and access to higher knowledge, right? Yes, God is kind of partial in terms of giving scriptural knowledge to his, favorite devotees. Everyone, at least once in life, is given an opportunity to elevate his consciousness, right? We also have tried to, give an opportunity to many people, right? Yes, you will definitely be given once in a lifetime, and you have to utilize it. Now, my sincere request to everyone, Prabhuji and Mataji, when you become preachers or when you start your satsangs, try to spread knowledge, Krishna, the scriptural knowledge as much as possible. This is emergency, not even 144. The next to 144, this is like bombing happening, right? We are rotting in this Kali Yuga. So the only good that we can do is do good for ourselves by chanting Harinam, and then get more and more devotees to Krishna consciousness. Take everyone to Goloka, as many people as possible, so that Radharani will be happy. Right? That is the most important thing that we should do. So my sincere request to everyone is make more and more devotees. That is the only request and wish I have for all of you. Please make more and more devotees. Bring many people into Krishna consciousness. And if you can donate Bhagavad Gita. 200 rupees a book. When I was a neophyte, when me and my wife, there was no single day when we used to have food at our home in the night for dinner. We used to go out, spend at least 1,000 rupees. So if I calculate in a month, I'll be spending at least 15,000. Worst to worst 15,000 in a month for dinner, right? 15,000 rupees. Even if I consider only 10% of it, which is like 15,000 is 10% is how much? You don't even have to be 10. 10% is like how much? 1,500 rupees. 1,500 rupees, you get 8 books, 8 Bhagavad Gitas. Buy, donate to your well-wishers, donate to your friends, donate to your relatives, whom you want to think of, whom you want to get elevated to Goloka. Please donate, right? This is the service that we can do to Vaishnavas and our Guru Parampara, right? That is what our Gurus wanted, right? So everyone is, so this way you are actually fulfilling the mission of Prabhupada and Krishna. You are giving devotion to someone, right? So buy Bhagavad Gita as much as possible, buy Bhagavatam as much as possible and donate it. Giving scripture means giving Krishna to them, right? Scripture and pure devotee come into our lives in the most unexpected situations. Do you know? I mean, it was a very, if I want to share my experience, it was a very surprising story. I was studying my intermediate, and one of my seniors who is very good at mathematics, I used to go to him for solutions to mathematics. One day he started talking about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I said, I don't know who is he. Then he was studying in Andhra University, his engineering. I went to give send off to him. We both were walking on the road, and that was Navaratri season. The Dasara was over. He is going back to university from my hometown. We both were walking, and Durga Navaratri pandals were built. We both were walking. He kind of got fed up telling me about devotional service. He told. He was completely fed up, but he was a very close friend of mine, right? So we both were walking. I was looking down and walking, and he's looking straight and walking. Suddenly, there is a pandal, and there is a big wood has come out of that. The wooden logs were used to build the pandals, right? I was about to hit that wood, and it would have definitely, I would have bled like anything that day had I hit that wood. So he put his hand, I hit his hand, and his hand hit the wooden log. Then he said, see, this is Maya, he said. Then I understood what he meant. See, he cared so much for me. So much means he didn't want me to get hurt. And he's trying to get me into good shape, right? So this is how someone enters into your life, right? If you look at my wife's, Sucharita's life, her cousin brother is another full-time devotee in Kolkata, ISKCON temple, right? So that, and one day he came to our house, and he said, Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu. Sucharita is a very great devotee of Lord Shiva. He came and half an hour, left and right. There is a say, when mercy comes, sadhu comes to your house. Sadhu comes to your house when mercy comes from Krishna. So Krishna has sent Ananta Bhagavandas to our house, and Sucharita's all the questions were answered. That's it. She became a devotee of Krishna. That is how things happen, right? So if Krishna is merciful, he sends devotees into our lives. So that is how we get more and more devotional service. Now, my request to all of you is, please make more and more devotees. if not able to distribute books, but at least distribute this Harinam. And now the Kartik Mas is coming. Now this is the right time. People easily get acquainted with devotional service. They can easily get bent to devotional service. So our whole mission is to make more and more devotees. Maybe, you know, we should keep a target, like we should keep a target of 70 people. We want to introduce Krishna Katha to 70 people, so that how many people, how many attended today's session? 11 people will, including me, 11. So 10 people. If we target 70 people, 10 people will stick in each session. It is something like that. So let's make more and more devotees, bring in more and more people. Right? It is not easy to stay in satsangs. It is not easy to stay in groups where people talk about scriptures. It is not easy to stay in groups where talk about Krishna Katha, right? That, so even if you're trying to gather 100 people, you know, Prabhu's and Matajis, we made calls to 256 people, out of which 76 turned out, and out of which 10 they are there in the satsang. So this is how it happens. So if you're targeting 250 people, you will have 10 people coming to satsang, or 10 people taking Harinam, right? So please distribute Harinam as much as possible with you know, testing hypothesis, or you know, confidence percentage of how much it comes to, around maybe, you know, 3%, right? Yeah. So yeah, why do calamities kill in thousands? Tsunami. So who is God? Is it? Now scuba diving during tsunami. Little baby saved in Gujarat earthquake. So some people are saved in earthquake. Some people were diving during tsunami, but still they are saved. But the other people who are living in apartments, they were killed, right? Naturally, calamities kill in mass, but they don't kill blindly. Everything is decided. Now, why tsunami happened? That is another balance of equation. There is so much that was calculated in left-hand side that has become a right-hand side tsunami, right? So there are so many complex things that are calculated to give one reaction, right? In Bhagavad Gita, in Bhagavatam, Canto 3, chapter 31, verse 1, it says, Karmanadaiva netrena jantu dehe papattaye striya pravisya udaram pumshoreta kanasreha. What does it say? The personality of God had said, under the supervision of Supreme Lord and according to the result of his work, the living entity, the soul, is made to enter into the womb of a woman through the particle of male segment to assume a particular type of body. So there is, so Maya Jakshana Prakriti, everything goes under Krishna's supervision. Even for the baby to born, it is Krishna's sanction, right? That's so. So I think we came to an end. As I promised, this is the last slide. So this you know, this session is divided into two sessions, 8th and 9th session. So because, you know, this is something that we have to build, gives us a kind of opportunity to bring strong faith in devotion, and this will take an atheist out of us and then makes us, if at all we are willing to, we are going to become devotees after the 9th session. Even if you haven't heard till 7 sessions, 8th and 9th sessions are very, very important, Prabhus and Matajis. So this is all that I have for today. If you have any questions, we can discuss. Maybe, you know, we take a couple of questions and then we will talk about, we will do Nursing Arati and then we will close the session. Actually, today I have to attend another program that is in my village. So there were around some 30-40 devotees that are coming from Bhaktivikas, His Holiness Bhaktivikas Maharaj disciplic section. I have to go and attend there. So maybe we will close it little early today. If you have any questions, maybe we'll take a couple of questions on this, then we'll do Nursing Arati. Hare Krishna. Prabhus, Matas, do we have any questions? I was expecting a lot of questions today, actually, because this, of course, you who are there in the group right now, in the call right now, they all kind of know about all the philosophy. But still, if you have any questions about why do have good things happen to bad people or bad things happen to good people, we can discuss. You can unmute yourself. I mean, I have muted some time back. Yeah, Anand Prabhu. I observed that saints like Prabhupada, Vivekananda made USA as their center of preaching, meaning USA is blessed. It is not that USA is blessed, Prabhuji. Okay, it is something like this. In India, we already are getting scriptural knowledge through many resources. If you look in India, there are so many sampradaya: Sri Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, Brahma Sampradaya, Kumar Sampradaya, and there are acharyas, right? So Madhvacharya for Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, and Ramanujacharya, Shankaracharya for different sampradayas, right? So we've got Sri Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya. So we've got acharyas and their disciples were already preaching. Now, why Prabhupada and Vivekananda, they went to abroad to preach? Because they wanted to liberate even those people. They want to give even chance to them to get liberated, right? That is, see, if you look at Prabhupada, Prabhupada spent only 10 years in abroad, not even 10 years, less than that. And he spent 70 years here. So how much we have got blessed, right? So they are Patita Pavans, Prabhupada and all these acharyas, His Holiness Maharaj, they're all so Patita Pavans. That's why they want to liberate even people rotting in the rotting countries. So that is the reason why. In fact, there is one more reason that we could think of, Prabhuji. In India, we are already learned. It is difficult to convert some. It is difficult to tell someone. Rather, I would say we have got three gunas, right? Tamoguna, Rajoguna, Satvaguna, and we are supposed to be in Suddha Satvaguna. So if someone is already in Satvaguna, it is difficult for us to take them to Suddha Satvaguna because they are already doing something that is supposed to be done. The only thing is that they are missing the destination, right? So it is very difficult to convert someone from Satvaguna to Suddha Satvaguna. But in ES, it's like either this side or that side. The moment you go and explain them, either they will completely reject or they will completely accept, right? It is easy to convert people it is like someone who is knowing Java. It is difficult for us to teach them PL, SQL, or SQL. But if they're already knowing, but if they don't have any idea, it is easy for us to teach Java. Yeah, does it answer your question, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna, Srividya Mataji. Yeah. I think Srividya Mataji has asked a question. Is repeated birth is because of karma? Yes, Mataji, of course. Yeah, we have another session, right? Ninth session. There we will discuss how to perform karma without bondage. All the karma that we are doing. Yeah, Srividya Mataji, I'm answering you. Yeah, either we do good karma or bad karma. It is gonna bind us and it's gonna definitely give an next life. Now, how to perform a karma, be it good karma or bad karma, how to perform a karma that is not going to bind us, we will discuss in next session. Because of the karma, we get into repeated birth and death. And the moment we stop this creation or burning of karma, everything goes off, and then we will get out of this birth and death cycle. Yes. Yes, Mataji. Does it answer your question, Srividya Mataji? Yeah, Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, maybe we'll take one more question, last question, and then we'll do Narsingarthi. Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll do Narsingarthi. Yeah.